Well, good morning and welcome to CityLine. It is truly great to be in your home. We are zooming in here on CityLine and we have a great hour ahead of us. Later on, we'll be talking with the Tacoma Public Library. Kate Larson will be with us and she will have all kinds of ideas of resources for you and for your family during this shelter-in-place time. Tacoma Rescue Mission will be here. Duke Polson is here to talk about some of the innovative ways that they have partnered with our community to help those that do not have a shelter to shelter in place. Then we have our pet of the week. The Humane Society is here with, our first rabbit on CityLine. You don't want to miss that. And then with me right now is a powerhouse like you have never known. I'm talking about Dona Ponepinto from the United Way of Pierce County and Kathi Littmann. She is the president and CEO of the Greater Tacoma Community Foundation. And they are here to talk about Pierce County Connected. Hello, beautiful women.
Hello.
Oh, hi there.
Thank you to both of you for being here today and taking time out of your very, very busy schedule. I have seen what you are doing online and I've seen it in chat rooms, and I'm so thankful that you are here to talk about the ways in which the United Way and also the Greater Tacoma Community Foundation is responding to our community during this time of need. Donna, I want to start with you. What are you hearing from Pierce County nonprofits about the impact that COVID-19 is having on our neighbors?
Well, one of the main things that we're hearing is from food banks. They're seeing a higher demand in terms of people just needing access to food. So that's one thing. Obviously, our first responders, healthcare workers needing childcare is another huge issue. Shelter for people experiencing homelessness, continues. We already have a homeless issue, so it's even being exacerbated because of COVID-19. And then a lot of organizations depend on volunteers. And so, there's the safety and the wellness of the volunteers that you have to consider as well to help you deliver those services. So those are the main things that we're hearing, as well as, we're starting to hear more about just behavioral health and mental health issues too.
Absolutely. So you mentioned some nonprofits. So let's talk about who are, Donna, the nonprofits seeing the greatest need right now, and who are the most vulnerable?
The folks that are the most vulnerable are the ones that are food insecure. I've been doing some volunteering on Fridays at one of the middle schools where they deliver the lunches, and I've been handing them the weekend backpacks. And, every week we're using up those meals. We're handing them out. So the food insecure is a huge problem. Those experiencing homelessness and senior citizens. There's a lot of homebound seniors that we need to make sure that we're getting food to them, that we're getting them the supports that they need. People with disabilities. Are also, and then again, people with mental health issues that really need access to services. And see, a lot of those services are in person, and so really having to shift how you think about the delivery of those services.
Absolutely. I mean, so much of what we do when we reach out to the community is that in-person touch. It's that conversation. It's what you and I have talked about before, Donna, with the I see you, who are you, what is your name, you're someone's son and daughter. And that unfortunately cannot happen as readily as it did happen before the shelter in place. When we think about nonprofits in need of financial support during COVID-19, who are you hearing as having the most impact and needs the most financial attention?
Well, I think, part of it is again, it goes back to making sure that individuals are safe. And so what we're seeing is that food banks, for instance, where they've had systems in place to have individuals pick their own food, are now having to get boxes and box food and package food differently so that there's less contact, greater need in terms of people that are out of work. There are more people that are out of work, and so how do we make sure that those folks that are out of work are getting access to information, but also getting access to services? And then, back to the volunteers, a lot of organizations are depending on volunteers. And those volunteers may have health risks. So think about food banks, for instance. A lot of times those are retired volunteers. Well, they may not be able to do that during this time. So finding those volunteers, I think, is really critical. And then a lot of nonprofits, unfortunately, have been forced to close. You look at even just in United Way's building, the Children's Museum, the Child Care Center, and other places, all around our county, these nonprofits have had to close their doors and figure out different ways, again, virtually, to interact with their clients.
So that brings me to my next question for you, Kathi, and that is that there is a program afoot called Pierce County Connected. It's an emergency response fund helping organizations who serve the most vulnerable during the COVID-19. Tell us about this movement and what does this fund do?
So this is a fund that GTCF and United Way in collaboration stood up it was 3 weeks ago. It feels like a lot longer. And we've got a number of funders that have joined us fund, and the grants are intended to, as quickly as possible, get funds to organizations that are delivering services that address the most urgent needs caused by the disruption of services, and particularly for Pierce County's most vulnerable populations. And the immediate responses are really being informed from the Pierce Connected Community Response Committee, and in coordination with the Emergency Operations Center, the various municipalities. What are they seeing that's rising to the top of the needs in the community that are really gaps that can be filled, either because there isn't an agency program to address it, because of all that Donna spelled out about the added needs for how people can be supported, but also some bridge funding. There might be resources coming in, but not anytime soon. So this allows the most vulnerable populations to continue to be served.
I love that, because it is, Kathi, it's such a sticky wicket when we think about those nonprofits that are such a tight fabric of our community, and those nonprofits not being able to keep their doors open. You have the internal customers, and then you have the external customers that are both suffering. When we think about people donating to Pierce County Connect, how can we go about giving you money?
So very easy. You can go to United Way's website, uwpc.org, and the online donor portal there. Anyone can contribute to the fund. There is also an online form at gtcf.org. You'll see it when you come to the landing page. Every single is making a difference here. There are no fees being collected on this fund by GTCF or United Way. Every single dollar goes directly to organizations that are serving our most vulnerable populations.
I love that. Thank you. Kathi, in terms of those nonprofits serving the most vulnerable during COVID-19, you mentioned that some of those funds from the emergency funds or from some of the big, I hear you, the big packages are not going to come right away. How do folks here locally get those funds, and how long is the process to qualify for those funds?
So the initial funds that will go out this week were really selected in collaboration with the Emergency Operations Center and those really first line emergency responders. There will be an RFP process It will be visible on the GTCF website, United Way website by the end of this week. And all of the timing and the protocols, we anticipate that the funds will go out in several tranches because every week change and, you know, possibilities for funding change. And so we're trying to be responsive, also move the money as fast as possible.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're going to post it on your website, because I think that you know, at least for me, I have a list of nonprofits that are on my list that I'm very, very concerned about. And when I had heard that there was a Pierce County Connected Fund, I thought, this is fabulous, and yet I can't not do more. So we want to continue to give to those nonprofits. Quick question for you, Donna, and Kathi also. Look, Kathi, let's stay with you first on this one. How did the United Way and the Greater Tacoma Community Foundation partner to address this urgent need? Was it one of those things that the two of you were at Starbucks when Starbucks was still open? Or was this something that both of you woke up and said, hey, I want to call the other person?
Well, I will say Donna and I have all kinds of wild plans that we put in all of the time. So we are ready to begin with. But, you know, this affects so many people, and the need is so great that there isn't any one entity that could have responded. We couldn't have done it alone. United Way couldn't have done it alone. We can't do it without all of the other philanthropic partners that are coming in. And the message we're delivering to everyone is to join the fund, because aligned and together we can accomplish more. But if you are already giving to organizations that you're passionate about, keep on doing that too. And in fact, if you can, double down, send your money earlier. So the this fund is not going to even come close to addressing all the needs we have. But Donna and I felt that together able to divide and conquer the resources and the skills that are needed to get it done.
I love that. Donna, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I ditto everything that Kathi said. You know, we have a history of partnering together, you know, and that is, I think, the beauty of our relationship, and the fact that we can pull all of these different groups together to not only look at the fund, but what other information can we get out into the community. And we are really stronger together, and we do, we're constantly thinking of different ways that we can work better together, because that's, you know, that's how we're going to get through this. And so United Way is every opportunity that I can. I love joining forces with Kathi and the GTCF team.
You know, I happen to be on the email of some of the people who have been gathering information for this project. And I have to say, on the backs of the Greater Tacoma Community Foundation and the United Way, both organizations have such stellar reputations, and they are known for getting things done quickly, and they're sustainable. I was impressed, and my heart was touched to see the heavy hitters that jumped in to make this happen, because the two of you are such great leaders. So my hat's off to the two of you for being able to get some of the biggest movers and shakers in Tacoma to jump in and to do this, in addition to the other works that they're doing as well. So pat on the back for both of you on that. When we think about, Kathi, how much has been given to Pierce County Connected so far, do we have a number that we can be a little braggy about?
Oh, this one, we can definitely brag about this. So within 48 hours of standing up the fund, we went from $750,000 that we fund with to over 24 regional funders who have committed into the fund, and we're now over $4.5 million. That's the power of our community. That is just such a phenomenal statement of how much people care. And there are still commitments coming in and other funders going to their boards. And of course, the donor portal where everyone can come in. Again, it's been less than 3.5 weeks. The grants committee that was formed by a small group of volunteers is moving the first $1 million out this week. So that's kind of a record time, both to have grown the fund that much, that quickly, and then to get the funds out into people's hands. So just reaffirming that every single dollar makes a difference. And any one organization probably would have had trouble doing it that fast. But with all the people in the room, it's pretty gratifying to see how the community has come together for this.
Absolutely, it is. You have called the Pierce County Connected an aligned philanthropic response. What do you mean by that, Kathi?
Well, every has their own particular mission and passion, and we operate at different grain sizes in the community. And one of the things that this is allowing us to do, to share with each other what we fund directly, what we do together, so we can address gaps. It also gives us a perspective into the highest needs. So I'll give you an example. Really digging down into what our food safety net and the number of organizations that are involved. And if you start with EFN as kind of a hub, and then you look at all of the, I don't know, Donna, I saw something like 90+ organizations, food bank points, and you put all of that together, the way that we can be more meaningful with our money is to that so the entire chain of service is funded, not just an entry point. And that can't happen unless funders are all coming together to say, what are we seeing in the system? It also enables us to capture data to go back to the county and our cities and the state and say, hey, these are needs that are system problems. How do you help us with your funding?
Absolutely, absolutely. I just want to say thank you to both of you for this incredible partnership that you've put together. And one last note, on a separate note here, Kathi, let's talk about, because Julie Anderson said you would, talk about how things are going with the 2020 census.
So happy Census Day, everybody. I think we are seeing some movement, and thank goodness that this year the census is the easiest, quickest way is to go online and answer those questions. I did it. It didn't even take 10 minutes. It is easy peasy. And the more that we can encourage people to do that, then the quicker we can see the kind of data that will bring resources into our community in a really meaningful way. And we have some subsets of the community that are kind of knocking it out of the ballpark in the initial responses. I encourage everybody to go to the Pierce County Auditor's Census website, where all of the information is about the census and all of the partners that we have across the community that are part of reaching out to their constituents to make sure that they have the help they need to answer the census. I will also say that the state has done a really good job in partnering with Julie Anderson and her team. They have just awarded another round of funding to GTCF to push back out to our organizations, because they realize the work will be a little harder because of the shelter in place orders. So very appreciative to the state and our county for the quality of response that they're giving. But yeah, everybody go in there, fill out your census.
I love that. I want to say again, thank you to both of you for taking time out of your crucial day and all of the really important on the boot, on the ground work that you are doing to help our most vulnerable on the streets, but also those who are working in nonprofits. I am so proud of both of you. Thank you so much. And I want to have you back on Zoom in about a month to see how the fund is going. what kind of movements we've seen with nonprofits, and to check back in and to see what both organizations need from our great city. So don't make me chase you, because I will.
Thank you.